Thank you to teacher and thank you, Hasso. It was a good start, I think. As teacher mentioned, very important points as cooperation, teamwork, and mutual understanding. But it's very important to encourage school leadership, interact with more people, and start to invite them to take to roundtable discussions and express their opinion. But not all people came, and you are these brave people, representative of different stakeholders who came. So you came here with a certain idea, and right now I would like to ask you to express, to present yourself, and say your main ideas and expectations towards school leadership and equity. Hasso, I would like to ask the microphone to our...
Who's starting?
Who would like to start?
It seems to be Estonian evening today. I'm Enn Kirsman, I'm head of the Parents Association of Estonia, but I do my everyday work as a teacher, as a physics teacher at school. My expectation to come here was to get some idea about the problem in the different countries about leadership schools, and to compare how it looks, how Estonia looks from outside, and maybe how Europe looks from Estonia, and I got quite a lot
exchange of ideas is a very important thing.
I got quite a lot of ideas what should be different in Estonia, but maybe not too much to tell what should be done in Europe.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I represent the organization Parents for Education from Latvia, and actually one of the reasons why we started us to organize was that, and I found that similar situation was in Poland, so we were against that the children with 6 years are sent to school, and because the school was not ready for them, and actually we were quite successful with that. And also why we started to organize a consortium of Latvian parents organizations, we understood that in that way our voice could be louder and better heard. And I can also explain why I think that parents' participation in education is so important, because you see, I am a mother and I am fully responsible for my child. And I am responsible for values he gets, and also for competencies he develops. And the situation is that I would like a school which develops his critical thinking, his academic skills, his responsibility. And if the school is not ready to do that, for example, if my child in my family has been developing critical thinking and he goes to school who is not supporting critical thinking, my child is in troubles, because he is a disturbing factor in the school. And from that point of view, I see that school leadership is very, very important, because the school leaders are the one who organize the school, the relations in the school. And I really liked what was said before. You can't teach kids the things you are not so good yourself, the behaviors. So if you want to teach kids critical thinking, the school leaders also need to have it. Or if you want to teach equity and openness, the same. And that's why it is also very important how the school leaders are. And why I think it is also important that parental role is respected when municipalities decide who is a school leader, is that sometimes in municipalities the decisions are not depending on the quality of school leaders, but on their loyalty, which is not always the same. But for parents, the quality is always important. And parents will always support the school leaders where if they see that the school is successful and supports the development of child. And yeah, that's what we expect from school, and also why we think that this parental discussion at the table is very important.
So, as I understood, that recently your school work, your child, where your child studying, do not respond to your expectations as a parent.
Being honest, the school, I had a very interesting situation because I found a school which was supporting values which I wanted, and then it was in 2009 when there was a crisis. Exactly that school the municipality wanted to close. And then I understood that, okay, you can find something which is good for you, but if there are no changes on higher level, you can lose it as well. And that was also this understanding that there needs to be bigger involvement in order to protect what you have really.
Okay, thank you very much.
My name is Ivita. I represent Latvian Parent Movement. My question was why I'm here, why I came, and others didn't. First of all, it's the theme, because our organization at the moment develops a project Open Parents. That is a project for parent leaders. So, of course, theme leadership is very similar what we do, but we do it for parents. Actually, parents together with teachers in schools as well. So we build this network in Latvia with trainings and pilot centers, and also this year we will build a network in Baltic states level, together with the national level organizations in Lithuania and Estonia. Lithuanian Audrius, he is at Saima at the moment, so he has very important things to do. But yeah, we started to cooperate, and the theme is similar, and we were speaking about distributed leadership. So leadership in school, it's all parts together, and one part is parents. And a very important issue where I came from here, and to say it loudly, it's that we, in Latvia, I think maybe in other countries as well, we need parent trainings. We have trainings for head masters, for teachers, but no trainings, no free trainings about this school leadership for parents. This is our case. I hope that my participation here and what I have heard, that you think that there is a need for trainings for all parts, information, trainings, assistance. So this is one very important reason why I'm here as well. And to meet you, of course, to meet you, all people. And very nice, it was our Latvian network. It really will help us in the future in Latvia to cooperate.
Okay, very interesting to hear from you about distributed leadership. So how do you understand distributed leadership, and how could be parents involved in implementation, realization of this concept?
I understand it as school leadership consists of teamwork. It's about that. I understand it. And what was the question?
Yeah, distributed leadership. And I mean that. How do you understand that? What is the role of parents in realization of this distributed leadership?
I think this role depends, and it's not the same, not in all countries, but actually in one country in different schools. So we are against unification, first of all, so we have to take into account each school's situation, each school's readiness, each school's motivation to do it. But for those schools who want to do it, those schools have to have some support programs. Because without those support programs, it's only a short time of free, how to say. And so I cannot say some unified system. But I think this project also promotes, of course, but the big challenge for us is how to explain these. You have a lot of good documents developed and researchers have worked, but normal normal people, they don't understand what you write. And it's maybe the reason why somebody didn't came, because they don't understand the complicated language you use. And parents are the same, so my suggestion also was what to do. It's, I don't know, make easy language, make some easy, understandable sentences, what normal person understands. That is very, very important for policy makers. I think it's everywhere the same. Policy makers.
Yes, it's a very good point, because we as professionals, we use one language and we very easy understand each other. But for parents, we need to.
It's very, very important, really. And about this conference as well. Although we have been in education for several years, at least at the beginning, it was. Nevertheless, we had to understand your definitions, your terms. What you understand, it was too much time to understand your terms.
Okay, yeah.
And that is not bad, but that was, so we have to think how to make it more understandable, from policy to down to schools, to parents, to pupils, to everywhere.
Okay, it's already we have one expectation, very, very clear expectation. But we should speak in parents' language and communicating with them.
In people language.
Thank you very much.
I'm Ruta Krasauskienė, I'm the principal of Vilnius Žemynos Gymnasium, and I'm representing school teachers. So I asked my teachers to spread their ideas, and I gave them a few questions, and I have a letter, so I'll read it. I asked teachers how do they understand leadership for equity and learning. So they answered that everybody knows that the teacher leadership influences the quality of learning. A real leader has high professional standards, which means that he is ambitious and states strict working aims for himself and his students. He is in a constant move for perfection and high professional quality. He is strong enough to resist the pressure from students, parents, and authorities. The next question was, how do you realize leadership in school community? The teacher is free to create or join different informal groups, international projects, express and discuss his or her opinion in urgent educational matters, and give suggestions for the improvement of the teaching and testing processes. He feels responsible for the results of his work. The teacher constantly improves his professional skills and shares his knowledge with his colleagues. And the third question was, what challenges does your community, our community, meet in leadership realization? The essence of our job, teaching the young generation, is to bring it to the future, ready for different challenges. It is important to see the strategy, and here we face huge difficulties because the requirements of programs and exams changes every time the elections bring new ministers and new local authorities. Teachers are pressed not only by them, but also by students, parents, and the society itself. The fact is that only a safe and secure teacher can accomplish his or her aims.
Thank you, Ruta, for your job you have done. It's really very important to have this letter from teachers, as we didn't have an opportunity to invite teachers to take part in our conference. And sure, in future we should do special conferences for delivering message about school leadership, for equity learning directly to teachers. And we hope to have these trainings and conferences with teachers, participants. And what we hear in this letter, in my opinion, it is proof that teachers, they really is in a very high pressure in their workplace. And this pressure goes from different directions, from parents and from students and from school principal and municipality and so on. And so we need to raise this question and somehow look for ways how to solve this problem in the future. So, one of expectations for the future also it would be to reduce this pressure in teacher work in order to create better atmosphere in school communities. Thank you.
My name is Bylaitė, and I'm a student at Janina High School, or Gymnasium, whatever you would like to call it. And I gotta admit that sometimes students like to complain a lot. That's true. And sometimes me and my friend just stop and ask ourselves, but what can we do about it? It's one thing to talk about problems, but it's one thing to solve them. And we keep thinking about it, and there's recently been this talk about policy reforms and how wrong they are, how much pressure they're putting on both students and the teachers who are not that, I don't know, maybe they haven't read about the policies, they don't know, they don't understand what it is quite like that. And it just makes me think maybe the best way to make both students and teachers feel better at school and kind of encourage them to study is to do the trial and error thing, where you try something new, and if it does not work out, you skip it. And maybe we should try that with policy reforms. For example, let's do what everyone says. For example, let's agree to let the students decide what kind of reforms they wish to have at school. But then let's see how it works out, because sometimes students have to learn by themselves that sometimes something that they wish is not always good for them. They sometimes complain too much and they do not realize how wrong they might be. They have to listen to someone higher up. But again, you have to listen, like you have to understand what they're talking about to actually recognize it and accept it. So that's pretty much my point of view.
Okay, so as I understand you, your expectation is to be more involved in curriculum and development and school life activities development, and even into political educational political reforms discussions, and you want to give more attention to your needs from teachers, from politicians, from parents, isn't it?
I wish that politicians would give a chance for students or teachers to do what they wish for at least once, and then just prove their point that it's not correct. Because sometimes, well, what do you know, maybe the policy is actually something better. It's something that will probably change our school lives. Like, in order to teach people to be leaders, we have to take that step, that scary step, and become and do that little leader kind thing ourselves.
Thank you very much.
I'm Simon from Bylaite-Salavejiene Gymnasium as well, and I could agree with my colleague here that students should have a part of deciding what should be, how should the education system act. For example, maybe we really could have votes, for example, gathering up a lot of students and have them know about what they are voting for. For example, have them read all these small things, the crucial things that what's going to happen to their system of education. So, for example, they should be able to to agree or disagree with the system that is going to be made in the school, well, made complete. Also, I agree with the statement that if we want to grow, to make more leaders arise, I would think that, of course, the teamwork is very essential, but also there's going to be some rivalry system as well. For example, if there's a team and only one of them has to be a leader, others may want to be leaders too. So it's going to be difficult not only for the leader, but for them also. Well, maybe there could be broken friendships in order to acquire that. Also, I would think that we could try to make people try to be leaders from when they are very young. For example, maybe in the first grade or even before school, they could try some exercises, for example, to accomplish a task, and there could be a team, and one of them could be a leader. Then every time the leader changes, and which leader is the objective finished well, the best or the fastest way. So I think that's all I have to say.
Okay, so as I understood for you, it's very important to have leadership courses. As you are talking that it can be many leaders in one team, and then conflicts appears and friendship breaks, and you don't know how to act in this situation, and you would like to have leadership courses, isn't it? Yeah?
Well, pretty much, but also in that way children could know if they want to be leaders or not. Not everybody has to be a leader, well, that's simply not a need of everyone to be one. So the system should be made for a couple of groups of people and, children. For example, those who tend to be leaders and those who do not. So we need all kinds of people, I think.
Yeah, and do you think that these different people should work and study together, or have to be in different schools, in different classes?
Maybe they should be, for example, in the same schools, but maybe in different classes, and sometimes fuse those classes together.
Okay, thank you much.
I'm Zana from Riga State Second Gymnasium. I believe that one of the most main problem is that youth nowadays are really open-minded. We're not like the older generation. We're not like that much conservative and centered on structure. I believe that we are like really ready for change than some of you might think. I think that the thing how to solve this problem is that we should meet up like students, parents, school leaders and policymakers and like discuss the problems, and not like only on idea level, but like practically what we can do, like planning by point by point. And yeah, I think that's the most let's say the problem that.
So do you have school councils?
Yes.
And which councils consist of parents, students,
Yes.
teachers?
Yeah.
And do they work in an appropriate way? Do you discuss your problems like you would like? You are talking right now about?
We discuss, but I think that the older generation really like. I think they don't want to listen to you because they think that we are thinking that way they do, but we are not like that. We are more open-minded, and we want like open communication where we can speak our mind. But that's not like
Thank you very much.
My name is Santa, and I am from Riga English Grammar School. I am currently also the president of the student council, student body in my school, whatever you say. And in my opinion, school leadership can be just represented. School leader can be just one person. As we mentioned already, it's teamwork. In my school, it works perfectly because we have a school board where students, teachers, parents, school leaders, everyone is participating and is a part of. And I think one of the biggest problems here is that a lot of people, for example, teachers, they think, also some of the students, they think that students are afraid of acting. But in my opinion, we are approximately, I think, 18 years old. We're not afraid of acting anymore. We are afraid of lack of action. We would rather make mistakes, do one thing than try another, but we are very afraid of lack of action. That's why it is my wishes to this project that students are heard in this project, and not only heard, that they can put their minds to this action, and they can act the way they think they could, and they think they should. Because if a school has just one leader, and it's, for example, a principal, and others aren't heard, then of course the system doesn't work. But if these leadership capabilities in all the people, and teachers and students are heard, then the system works. In my school it does, and I wish that in other schools in Latvia and in other schools in Europe it would too, and I hope it will. And I think this project is a great idea, and I hope it will be put to action as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, what I hear from you is a wish that adults trust you more and let you act and be active. And I support your idea because I have my young colleagues, and I see how much they want to work, and they are doing things very quickly, and they are coming and asking what else to do, and we want to work and do things. So it's a very good point that you noticed, that really young people want to be involved, want to be heard, and want to be present, and want to be active involved. Yeah.
Yes, and also what I can mention in this case, if I wanted to solve a problem, I could, maybe it would take me 2-3 weeks to present this problem to maybe the city council. We have this organization, Riga Student Council or Student Board. Through that, we can do that. So I don't think, oh, I can't be heard. I'm just a student. What can I do? I can't do anything. I can't do anything actually. I have to put my mind to it. And a lot of people want to do that, but don't know how. And through this school leadership, they could just learn how to do this. So it's a great thing, in my opinion. Yeah. And it's if this is a problem, then it's a great way to solve it.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Carl from Estonian School Student Councils Union, and what we see is that school should be motivating environment for students, for teachers, for other stuff, for parents, and how to make it. It should be friendly collective. There should be inclusive and supportive attitude, and quite big role is played by leaders, how they are thinking about this. Are they including students, teachers, parents? Do they support initiative of doing something different? If it is the student ideas, is it about different methods about learning, teaching, sorry. And I think it all depends on how open-minded are school leaders, and that's one of the expectations, that the school leaders should be a little bit more open-minded. I can say that I see that they're moving on this way to be more open-minded. But yes, that's one of those expectations.
Yeah. So it's a very important thing you touched about. But we as school principals also should learn and be trained to open our minds and to change ourselves more than we could work with children in school communities. And so you express your expectations, and you are representatives of different groups. So let's think what everyone from you could do in order these expectations would come true. Could you, let's say, imagine or even say for us as a promise, one step, one thing? Probably you could do something altogether in order to achieve these expectations, implement them, but these expectations would come into truth. So you are free to talk. Who have idea? So, okay.
I can say. Okay, it's a good approach to talk about what each of us can do. My organization will continue, of course, this Parent Leaders Project, and I think we will expand. But from what I heard, and that we should come together. But that's a bit difficult because institutions distribute money for target groups, and they cannot understand joint trainings.
Mm-hmm.
So they can budget for this. This is what maybe we have to speak more loud for school boards or school councils, joint program where we can all together train. And this is very important. And in one school, trainings are for the exact team with exact their practical problems, for solutions for them, their case, their real life that they will live. This will be more beneficial than we train about theoretical problems that I'm not connected with. And that is when trainings do not get the best results.
Okay, so common training.
Yes, joint training, that's about school boards, and that's about this joint leadership. And I know that other countries have these kind of programs, but we have spoken with our ministry. We are not so successful with this. They deny our initiatives. They do not put in political documents. So, but if we are not in political documents, so we're not a priority, and there's no money and no assistance, we will write 10, 20 letters again and again that we need. Maybe we can get some support for this from this project, that it is priority, not only for us, but it is a high top level issue. Maybe they will hear then that it's a real need, and not only our, I don't know what. So that is what we can do. And another thing, we talk with our parent leaders in easy language. That is what I said before. So they can understand the policy, they can understand their role, because only few persons read the laws and understand laws. So we need to speak with each target group in their language, so they can understand what is the benefit. And then
to find a common language.
Yes, common language, and use different communication styles and channels, and not only send emails. Maybe nowadays we need something different, something more attractive, not long 30, 100 pages documents we need, because first step is information and communication with the target groups. If we do not communicate and inform, we cannot act. What do you want for us to act? What do you need from us? We need that you say, for example, school heads, do you need our help?
Yes, they need.
What kind of help do you need? Because all sides are silent, and they're always complaining they don't do anything. But you have not asked us to help.
Okay.
That's just one issue. And my vision, it was you also put in the question. So it's the fantasy, yeah. What is the best model? I will speak about school boards or school councils because we are working with this. So of course, this is an element in school that represents all opinions of all parts. And not only that there are two active pupils, but they represent all pupil opinion in school. This is very big challenge because also active parents are only few maybe, but they do not represent all parents'
Yeah, it's
opinion.
a question of equity, isn't it?
Gathering of opinions, representing, and then deciding the best solution in the council. This is a very big challenge. I hope this will work as a real democratic cell in the future, but with additional assistance, trainings, information, mentorings, everything that this work as a community cell.
Okay, thank you very much. Our time going to
Run
some
out.
run out. So please say the last sentences about steps.
No, I could say two sentences, longer sentences, one step. What maybe we could expect also, your project could help with that. So in beginning already, in first day I said it's a lot about communication. And especially in our countries, due to our past, very often people are used to one-way communication. So I tell you listen, but the communication is both sides. And I think that's for us parents, and that's for others, like teachers as well. And then the one thing we are, I think, trying to do, and we will do, support parents to communicate with school. And to support, not to be afraid to communicate with school, and to do it in a constructive way. And we are also, as a parents organization, very ready. We would like to start discussion with teachers, with schools, about communication and how to improve it from both sides, and what are things they would expect from us. So this open, two-way communication.
Okay.
For me, these 3 days, the K word has been trust. First day I heard about some headmaster, maybe from Britain, that politicians or school owners don't trust the headmasters. A lot of huge expectation, but no trust. In Estonia, we see that the politicians tell a lot about to bring parents to school, but if you look to the law, you see that they don't trust the parents to give some leadership in the school to the parents. Okay, we are not experts in teaching. We are not experts maybe in economy, but we are experts in our child. And nobody else don't know better than us what our child needs at school. Expect the child themselves.
Yeah, for a parent, it's easier to know your own child than for teacher to know 100 children. Yeah.
But my last sentence is that let's find the trust and let's prove that we are trustable partners.
I think that this project will help us to involve more people in Lithuania to spread these ideas. We spoke together with our Lithuanian group, which we are participating here. So we have a lot of ideas because we have good examples making our projects. So I think that for the beginning we have to start spreading ideas and to change our attitudes towards parents and students, towards municipality and ministry, because all we have the same goal.
I believe that both teachers and students should, as cliche as it sounds, get along, and they should respect both sides. And I truly wish that one day I will talk about having an education in Lithuania and other European countries and not be embarrassed about it and not say, well, I wish I could have done better, because this is where we live, this is where we want to live, and I really hope that in the future, children of our age in the future will think the same.
I agree that communication is one of the most important things. Everything has to be achieved through it. So I think it's a really good idea to make well, all the people gather and decide which is the best policy to take, and make a vote probably, and sort it out with democracy. Just.
Yes.
So,
Thank you.
The question was, what could we personally do? Well, I think what I could personally do is encouraging. How? I, as a leader in my student council, I already know who is going to be at least a candidate to my position next year, because I'm going to graduate then. But I already know these people, and I am encouraging them to show their leader capabilities. I think the same should happen between teachers. They shouldn't be competitive in this way. They should encourage each other to maybe step up and do more, because in a lot of student unions and everything, it happens actually, this encouraging and leadership moving forward. And it should happen also in this case. And if it does, happens in all these, as you say, stakeholder environments, then it would also happen in national level. And between schools, for example, if someone sees a teacher who is maybe a good principal, but maybe in a school that concentrates on, for example, teaching arts, great, then they should do this. I don't know what you call it. Just try this position maybe, and it really works in a student environment. Maybe because we actually, of course, we are more open-minded, but it works, and I believe it works also in other environments. So I am encouraging, and I hope others will follow and encourage too. I know a lot of people do, but I hope there will be more.
I really like this idea about trusting, because I see in schools there are also this problem between students and leaders or teachers, that there's no this kind of trust between them, that they can be included in some kind of decision-making processes, because I don't know why. It's maybe because there's some kind of vision that the students are not so responsible for the decisions, or they don't know actually what's good for them, which is, I think, wrong thinking. And I'm hoping that it's in future there won't be this kind of attitude. Did I make my point? Or no?
Yeah,
Let's talk more. I really like this point. Thank you.
Okay, do we have? The thing I can do is I would like to encourage people to listen and observe. Observe others, observe our colleagues, students and parents, and by this observing make some kind of changes. That's the main thing you should actually do.
Okay, so thank you very much, teachers, parents, students, representatives. And you are part of round table. And one part of round table, we had your ideas, your expectations, your steps forward you are going to implement. And I would like to thank you and change places with another part of round table. And we would like to invite principals and municipality representatives to give a response to your expectations. And we will test have they heard what you were talking right now. So thank you very much.